One great man said, preparation is more important than opportunity. The truth is that opportunities are there, both for business and employment. But when one sees these opportunities, they evaluate themselves, and without anybody telling them, they know that they do not qualify. In other words, they've not gone through the preparation process that would have made them ready for such opportunities. We have seen this in many of our African countries. Before independence, we are crying for equal opportunities. And then when we are finally given those tenders, the result is unfinished roads, substandard houses, and even some contracts which are not even executed after payment has been made. The reason is because we jump to get the opportunities, but we actually do not know what type of person, what quality of person qualifies for those opportunities. A person who has been trained for a particular job has no problem identifying their opportunity. If they are trained in electrical engineering, they simply go to the engineering section and they know exactly what they are looking for. The most important aspect of preparation is acquiring the knowledge that is relevant to the enterprise that you want to start. Being the best engineer or artisan does not make you a good business person. My first job was as a computer engineer, a hardware engineer, and we used to talk among ourselves and ask why the engineers were getting less money than the administrators, less than the accountants, when we're the ones who were actually doing the work. It's only after some time that I started to understand that doing the fixing and the construction, that is not the actual business. Business has got a cycle which includes identifying who the market is. Who are we going to sell our product or our service? Because without being able to identify the person to buy the service, it would be useless for you to have a workshop and sophisticated tools with nobody to buy your service. The technical work or production is just one arm of business. A person's knowledge has to expand beyond their job description before they can even start thinking of opening the same type of business as the one that they are working for. Many times people are complaining that their boss is making them do things which are not in their job description. That kind of attitude is the one that creates bad business people. If you want to be a good business person, you have to be willing to do all the jobs from the smallest to the greatest. Because when you own your own company, you need to know exactly what happens in every single office. If you're simply a technician and you don't know about procurement, you can't run a business. If you don't know about marketing, you will not succeed in business. So the first step for any person who wants to make a transition from employment to business is to learn the whole business cycle. Because a business person must be self-contained. You should know enough about your business to do the work of any one of your employees should they quit without notice. Your business cannot get stuck simply because the procurement person is not there. You should be able to do the procurement yourself. So the first step is to understand the A to Z of the business that you'd like to start. You need to know where to source the products that you're selling. or how to make them. You also need to know how each product is packaged for the different customer segments. Who are the people that are interested in our products, and how do we get them to know about these products? In other words, you should be familiar with the marketing channels for your type of product. You should also know about the distribution channels for the product. In other words, how do you get your products to the final consumer? Are there distributors for this product? Do you go straight to retailers, or do you go straight to the final consumer? One very important thing is to know the resources that are required at every stage of the business. This is part of the business planning process. We're going to deal with this more when we start talking about putting together a business plan, because you should know what is it that you are going to need at each stage. What type of equipment do you need for production? Are there any vehicles, and of what nature, that you need for transportation or distribution of your products? What are the human resources that are required? So in other words, you need to know the type of skills that you need to have in your business. Is it something that you can do on your own, or you're going to need to hire some people to assist you? So all of these tangible resources can be translated into financial resources. So at the end of the day, you need to know how much money do I need in order to get this business off the ground, and each business cycle, how much money do I need to survive from month to month? You need to ask yourself, how is this operation going to be financed? Am I going to get a loan from the bank? Do I have my own savings? Or am I going to persuade some friends to join together with me, and we put together some money to finance the business from our own investments? Another important thing to know is whether there are any regulatory frameworks that govern the type of business that you'd like to open, and if you have got the necessary qualifications to meet the requirements of those regulations. For example, if you'd like to start a micro-lending business or a cash loan, there are requirements to register with the Financial Institutions Supervisory Authority and with the Financial Intelligence Center. So you have to be confident that you can meet the requirements of the business that you'd like to start. I indicated earlier on that one of the most important parts of preparation is gaining knowledge. There are some people who stopped learning the day that they graduated from university. That is the reason why when new graduates come, they overtake you, because they are learning technologies when they are still in school. Whereas some of the old guard, you only saw a computer when you started working. You need to make sure that every day you are learning something new about your profession or about the business that you are doing. In other words, you need to keep abreast, you need to keep in touch with the most recent developments in your field. Just last year, in 2020, the first lockdown was announced because of the coronavirus pandemic. For many years, we had been developing software and providing training in classrooms throughout Namibia. We were now faced with a situation where there is no client that can come to you for training. All along, I'd been developing software for the desktop and for local area networks, and I'd not really taken time to learn about developing online systems. But from the first day of lockdown, I realized that if I did not learn about developing online applications, then I might as well go back to the village. So during March and April of 2020, I went through about 4 online courses on programming and online software development. And immediately I started developing this online platform where you are learning from today. So this is new information, new knowledge that I was forced to learn because of a hardship that was brought on by the coronavirus. But imagine if 5 years ago I had started learning gradually, it wouldn't have taken me as long to develop this platform. I probably should have had it already before the coronavirus hit. So preparation and opportunity don't always coincide. You need to be ready even for opportunities that have not yet arrived. When the opportunity arrives first before the preparation, it becomes a crisis. So for your business to survive and to remain competitive, you have to keep up to date with developments in your field. Customers are becoming more and more educated and enlightened because of the internet. So many times you'll go to your client as a consultant and discover that they actually know a little bit more than you do. So it is important for you to always go the extra mile by reading a lot more, attending workshops, joining associations and other groupings in your particular field, so that you're always a step ahead of your clients. When you meet a challenge in business, that is not the time to now start looking for knowledge and strength. You need to be preparing yourself in the time when there is no crisis. That is the time to read. That is the time to learn. As long as there is no challenge, there is no way of telling who is prepared and who is not. It's only when the challenges come that is when we can tell this person has been preparing and that person never prepared at all. So don't be the business person who is always at every social event, who is going out with friends every Friday or every weekend. Always take time to invest in yourself to become the person that you'd like to be. For you to develop into a good business person, you have to be a good employee first. Don't be the type of person who is complaining. You're always saying, my boss is making me do his work. If your manager is making you to do his work, it means that he has seen in you a part of him. He has seen in you the abilities that are required for management. So you need to take advantage of that opportunity and actually learn to take over from your boss while he is still in his position. Because the time that he is promoted, your boss is the one that is going to recommend you to take his position. Don't wait to start reading for a new position after you get an appointment later for that position. Rather, let your knowledge be the one that elevates you to that new position, because your employers recognize that you are learning far beyond the knowledge required at your level. The discipline required and the culture of hard work that is needed in business starts when you're still working in somebody else's business. If you cannot take care of somebody else's company, there is no way that you're going to be able to take care of your own company. When I first started working, I never restricted myself to working hours. There are many times that I would remain behind solving problems that we left over from the day. And then I would leave the office probably 11 p.m., 12 p.m. and go home. But by the time the other people come in the morning, they discover that I had actually solved the problems that we left at 5 o'clock the previous day. That culture of hard work has remained with me until today. So even now, I do not struggle to work 16 hours continuously, to work 20 hours continuously, because it is something that I was able to do even when I was employed to work for somebody else. In the next module, we are going to be talking about measurement of success, because this is where the problem lies for most of us. We have the wrong idea of what success is. We limit success to the things that we can see or to the things that we can show to our neighbors. But real success in business comes even before the Mercedes-Benz shows up. It comes even before you can buy that double-story house that you've always wanted. So let's meet in the next module and talk about measurement of success.